I'm Laura.
And I'm Keisha, and we are the Pattern Queens. And welcome to Stitch With Us, episode 18. Our Stitch With Us can vote. And today is Sunday, October 24th. And this is his channel about cross stitch.
And friendship and silliness and lots of ramblings that maybe have put us about 45 minutes, half an hour behind, something like that. And unexpected surprises because we weren't supposed to film today.
We weren't. You were at a cross stitch retreat, but you came
Right.
home early. So lucky for us, we get to stitch together today.
Yes, we do. And
go ahead and show what you're working on.
Okay, so I'm working on Fun Everyday July. I am miles behind Keisha, and I am doing Thursday. So Keisha hasn't even seen this. Oh. I have everything done except for the fill-in.
Wow.
So nice. Yeah, I just have to get that stitched. So this is perfect because I can sit here and just fill.
Right. And I am working on Fun Everyday September. And I am working on this bus here. It's called School Days. And I haven't shown you this since I got the border done. But here's where I am on it.
Oh my gosh, you got a lot in last night.
Yeah, so I've been working on the yellow, but just for the Stitch With Us, I'm going to fill in this window here because I don't have to count because it's all the same color.
Which makes that's one of the things we are really loving about doing these. And we'll probably use these for most of our Stitch With Us videos because they always have fill-in sections.
Right. They're really good stitch and chat pieces. So.
Yes. Although I had it with me this weekend for the retreat and I did not stitch on it once. Oh. Because next week I'm going to show you what I did.
Oh, okay. Well, we're very excited to see.
It may involve the number 3.
Ooh, that's impressive. I will probably have 0 unless I get myself in gear and go get the floss that I need. So I actually, the first one that I worked on in September was the September one. I've been asking my husband which one I should work on, so he's been telling me. And I got everything done but the purple stripes in here. So I, because I'm missing the floss, I think I told you all last week, the floss list on here tells you how many skeins you need. And whenever it was printed, they didn't say that you needed that color for this, which could just be you bought it before. Yeah, see, it kind of tells you how much you need of everything. And this one, I don't know if I have my list. So I'm missing hyacinth. And you can see here, it tells me that I don't need any.
And the thing that you should see with these is that when we're stitching these, there are listings for, these are sold that it was Crescent Colors, Classic Colorworks, and Gentle Arts and Weeks Dye Works. And where they're in bold, that's what color they used for the models. And the other colors that are listed under there are all of the substitutes. Yeah. But it's not always an exact science. I was trying to figure out, here. Because the color that we use is called pomegranate. Let me find my pomegranate. I think I actually have all 3 of the colors. Is it pomegranate, just rust, and sweet potato?
Oh, hold on. Let me find it. Oh, it's pomegranate, clay pot, and Aztec red.
I thought I had, maybe I have clay pot. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Sweet potato is our orange
pomegranate. And even in the old pomegranate that Katie had, it looked like this. Yeah. So those are even slightly different. But clay pot is very pink, like really pink.
Yeah.
So you could definitely not switch midway.
Right.
I wouldn't mind it in different charts.
Oh, no. Or even in different parts of the same chart if you were
Right.
working on small things. But yeah, so mine said that I didn't need hyacinth in this one, but it also says that I don't need pansy purple, which is in the school bus. So I think if you and I'm not sure if that's the difference between the reprint, because I have the reprint one and
Mhm.
Laura has an original one. I don't know if maybe there was something that went wrong in that. So I'd say if you guys are stitching this, oh, and they're by SamSarah, by the way. We didn't say that.
Yes.
If you guys are stitching this, I'd say just make sure you look at your charts before you go floss buying, because I didn't look at the charts and I just went by the list. And so I have to go and get a couple extra
So
things.
when I started with this, I bought a full set of the ones that are in bold.
Oh,
And I'm
everything.
just trying to replace them when it
Mhm.
gets close. And maybe
Yeah.
that's a good thing to do too, if you can do it. But also the thing that you need to know is that SamSarah is retiring. It's Patty. She's retiring and she's going to stop printing charts as of the beginning of November. So not very far off.
Right.
But she is currently working on printing mass amounts, and especially of these things, since it's a whole calendar and you can't just like miss one.
Right. Well,
So,
and it's hard if you're on a budget to buy every chart
right, there are
at one
12.
time.
There are
Yeah.
12 because there's one per month. And Keisha and I are each missing, I think we kind of were missing 5. And so
Mhm.
we are frantically trying to get them and get them in. So
So,
that's all the PSA stuff that we'll give you today.
right. So what's new in your life this week, Laura?
Well, it was a lovely short week because I left to go to retreat,
Right.
and we got a great project. And um, in spite of everything, I mean, it was fun to travel up and sit around and stitch,
Right.
and you know,
Because you
and
guys have just been doing virtual retreats with the Black Needle Society, so I bet it was fun to like actually go. And I mean, you went to Galleria, but I'm sure just
right.
like having a few weekends of going and stitching and with people in real life is probably
Yes,
great.
and I did wear my mask the whole time,
Mhm.
um, because I work at an elementary school.
Right.
So, it's just a thing. I need to protect everybody from the people at my school, and I need to protect the people at my school from everybody else. So,
Right. Right. Well, and I've kind of been that way too at work. At work, we had someone retire, and so now everyone in my building is vaccinated. Um, and so um, my boss said that we didn't have to wear masks anymore. And we were already not wearing our masks in our own offices. But if someone came in, you had to put it on.
mhm.
And, but I've still just been wearing my mask around because I do live with someone who can't be vaccinated. You know, I have a
Mhm.
1-year old and he hasn't been cleared to get that vaccine. So we're still trying to be careful. We're going out and doing things, mostly outside activities, and being with trusted friends, but still wearing my mask places because you got to keep yourself safe and the people around you
Yes.
safe.
Yes.
So this week we went to, well, after we filmed last Sunday, we went to the local amusement park. And James is too small to ride most things, but he does love a carousel. So we rode the carousel a couple of times. And we had a good time there. We went with a few of our friends who have, well, they have 2 sons, and one of them is a couple months younger than James. So that was fun. And then we went yesterday. My mom came to town, and we went to a pumpkin patch that also had a carousel. So
Oh my
James
gosh.
got to go on the carousel with me and my husband, and then he got to go on it with my mom's grandma name is Nani. So he got to go on it with his Nani.
No.
And you could tell my mom was a little out of practice holding a baby on a carousel because they just go by and I see my mom just like cradling James while he's like half on the horse. I'm like, it's okay. I asked her when the last time she held the kid on a carousel was, and she's like, it's probably been 20 years. So, you know, but he had a great time. And he got to pick out his own pumpkin. And then, of course, my mom's there. So she's like, does he need this puzzle with farm animals on it? Does he need this bag to go trick-or-treating? So he was spoiled by his nanny a little bit. It was a lot of fun. And it was just nice. Yesterday, it was kind of a chilly, overcast day, but it was a good pumpkin patch day.
And thank goodness, because today, starting last night and through today, it's a rainy day.
Yeah. Today would not be a good day to go to the pumpkin patch. So I guess we could ride the carousel. It was in a barn, so we'd just be there all day. But yeah, that boy loves it.
Oh, look, I'm going to have the fun neighbors again.
Well, it's perfect time to be outside in the rain. All right, so last time we did one of these videos, we played a little bit of this or that. So we're going to kind of continue on with that. And this might be a shorter video because we sat up to film, and then the great Katie Landis was in the living room. And so then we just all kind of chatted because we're actually all friends in real life. So we just chatted, and and I have to get done filming before James wakes up from his nap. So
and Keisha is one of our chief consultants. Ooh, how's that for a title?
Well, you know, it's a prestigious title. No, oftentimes things for the Black Needle Society, they're like, how do you feel about this? And I'll be like, and I'll tell them. And so
we always know that we can count on Keisha to just tell us the absolute truth and not sugarcoat it, and I would say not to worry about our feelings, but I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, you really are worrying about our feelings because you want it to be the best product that it can be.
Right. But, well, it's kind of one of those, you know, if your friend has done something that's not great, it's better to hear it from your friend than to hear it from someone who's not as nice.
than to make Athena have to listen to it over and over and over and over again. That's the key. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's good. I mean, we can always count on Keisha to let us know how things are. Okay. I see a cat climbing the door. So I'm going to send a quick message here to Bree, and you may hear her come in to let the cat in, but I need to let her know.
You just never know what's happening at the Landis house.
Oh yeah. We have a cat that lives outside, and she insisted on going back outside. But now she wants to climb the screen. So that's not good.
Well, I would probably be wanting to climb the screen too if it was raining like that outside.
And it was raining when she went out.
Oh, really?
But she's a cat, you know, so very much like women, we have the prerogative to change our mind, right?
Well, and what I've learned is that boys are that way too. Oh, I'm done with my snack, Mom. I'm done with my snack. Oh, no, it appears that you ate something and now I need more snacks. Can I have more snacks? Today we had, James ate his breakfast like we do in the morning. And then I was trying to do a little bit of cleanup. And so I opened the gate to get into the kitchen and put a few things away. And he knows that the kitchen is where the food lives. So he went and stood at the gate and started shaking it because he's learned that if you shake the gate, it can pop off the wall. He's too smart for me. And so he kind of shook the gate a little bit. And I'm like, no, buddy, let's not do that. And then he just started wailing. because he needed a snack and he would not stop wailing until I got a snack for him.
Oh no.
So boys also change their minds a lot too. Well, your neighborhood's loud. I don't know if you guys can hear it here, but I've got a train going by in the distance. I've got sirens happening.
I haven't heard any of yours, but we have the attic fan on, and I think that muffles a lot for me.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can hear our attic fan either.
No, I can't really hear it. I live near a hospital, so we get some siren noise every once in a while. You kind of tune it out, but every once in a while you get it.
Okay, so you started to tell us about the questions we're going to do today, right?
And then, and then we just went on a tangent because that's what happens.
Because rambles happen. We need shirts that say that. Rambles happen.
Maybe we should just ask Athena, our friend Athena, Stitching Goddess Designs on Facebook, if you're looking for a good cross stitch shirt. But maybe we need to ask her if she will make us some friendships and rambles and lots of shenanigans. Maybe we should just get that on a shirt.
There you go.
Okay, the first question is couch or recliner?
I have both.
Mm-hmm.
And I like them for different reasons, but oh, I love this recliner. So like this will recline all the way flat, but it also has, I don't know if you can see this move.
Oh yeah. Ooh, nice.
So I can set this where I would like it.
Ooh, that's nice. See, I'm going to say couch because I have a chaise lounge. So I'm going to say that fits in couch. And it is one of the best pieces of furniture I've ever owned. I sat there a lot during my pregnancy and during my recovery, and that's where we sit a lot of times and just hang out, me and James. So, and it's actually a secondhand couch. I had a friend in college who had that in her dorm room, and then she moved to LA for a semester and didn't know what to do with it. So she gave it to my friend group because we were moving into a duplex out of the dorms. And then people just kind of moved out and left the couch, and I was the last one there. So I got to take the couch. And
last one standing.
Yep. So I got the couch. I got the couch and the waffle maker. Though I had to return the waffle maker because my friend, my best friend and I had a thing where it was like, the last person to get married gets the waffle maker. So when I got married, I had to give her the waffle maker.
Oh man.
But she got me a waffle maker. So
as a wedding gift, because that would be hysterical.
Yep. Because, we're funny that way. So we said that the last person to get married had to get the waffle maker because we bought it with combined funds in college. We had like a food fund, and we had come under budget on the food one week. And so we're like, we're going to buy ourselves a waffle maker. So
fabulous purchase.
Yes. Okay. The next question is, would you rather be a passenger or a driver?
Oh, I would rather be a passenger. I have some nerve damage and it's on my right side.
Oh.
So
yeah, so pedal side.
Yeah. So I can drive for a while, but in general, I am a much better passenger. And I'm quite willing to help make sure the map is going, and that, I mean, I used to be the map person, and now of course it's all electronic, but I'm happy to play with the dials. I'm happy to get the food out. I'm happy to help with whatever.
Right.
And in general, if we're going to pull up somewhere, I'm happy to be the one who runs in and gets the stuff because I don't have to drive, and it lets me stretch out a little bit.
Right. But sometimes you drive your pregnant friend into a different state and through a bunch of rain.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Oh, that was a trip. That was.
We get good tacos that day, though.
we did get good tacos from our friend Judy. And that was before I was telling everybody that I was pregnant. So that was kind of miserable. But oh, what a day. That's exactly what I wanted that day.
I mean, I knew,
Uh-huh.
so that
Right.
was good.
Okay. The next one is, do you prefer a tablet or a computer?
You didn't answer.
Oh, I didn't answer. Well, I'd say, I guess I prefer being a passenger. I used to like being the driver more, but my husband kind of drives everywhere now. And
Did
I'll
you get
stitch.
did you get kind of drived out from your previous job?
Yeah, so I used to drive across the state all the time for my last job. And yeah, there were definitely times when I was just like, okay, I drove all week, so whoever's with me is going to drive. Um, but yeah, I think so. But there are some days though that I would like to be the driver. I like driving when I'm by myself. If someone else is in there, then I would prefer to be the passenger rather than drive. But
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
whew, whew, someone is fighting going down for his nap. I thought he was already asleep, but I guess not.
Oh no. Okay, so tablet or computer?
Yes.
I think I have been more tablet, but that's because that's what I had. We are filming on my laptop
Mhm.
and I love it. And I have found some different things, like it's so much easier to set up a spreadsheet on
Mhm.
my laptop. And um, so a lot of things, I mean, like I can add to my spreadsheet from my phone, from my iPad, from
Yeah.
whatever, but it doesn't have all the same color options. It doesn't have all the same functionality.
Right.
So I think I prefer my little laptop.
Yeah. So I definitely, I'd rather use like a tablet or something with a stylus, but for setting up a spreadsheet or anytime that you have to type a whole lot, I'd rather use a computer for sure. Except for the computer that I have right now, because I have problems with it all the time. But also, it's my husband's computer from before we got married. So it's an older guy. And he doesn't think it's necessary to have a number pad on a laptop.
Oh,
And I love having a number pad. So it kind of bugs me to try to do a spreadsheet on here and try to like
yes.
check at the top because I'm really, really fast with a number pad. Just because that's my job is putting in numbers into things. So I'd say probably usually tablet, unless I'm doing something that needs numbers and I have a computer with a number pad.
I do miss that on my laptop.
Mm-hmm.
So because I have had jobs in the past where I was heavy, heavy, heavy 10 key.
Right.
So yes, that would be in my wheelhouse also.
Mm-hmm. But it's I will set up a spreadsheet on a computer and then like you said you can, so I use Google Sheets a lot, and then you can do things with it on your phone or on your tablet if you have everything kind of linked together. And
And
that's how I,
sometimes when your friend messages you and says, "Hey, I haven't had to do this in forever. What do I do?" Then you
right.
just solve problems while you're at work.
Well, you know, that's, you weren't the first person to ask me a spreadsheet question that day. So I have a big spreadsheet that I use for my cross stitch stuff. And Laura was setting up one too and was asking me how to make things count certain things. And I'm a great big spreadsheet nerd. So I love answering questions about it.
Well, and I had tried using the help function
Mm-hmm.
and could not get it to give me um, a recognizable answer for what to do.
Right.
It was just not working. And I had tried, it's funny because the function that we used, I had tried, we're using count if on my spreadsheet, and I had tried some of the other count commands
Mm-hmm.
but it just was not really giving me any kind of help to figure
Right.
out which one I needed and how I needed the data to look after that.
Hmm.
Because spacing and everything is important with it.
Right. Yeah. If you're writing a formula, um, Google Sheets is a little less friendly than Excel is whenever writing formulas, as far as like spreadsheet software goes. But yeah, you have it's very picky about where you put in parentheses and quotation marks and spacing and commas and all that kind of stuff.
Yes. But I am happy to report that I have both added to and deleted from said spreadsheet, and all of my functions have continued to work.
Always good.
So it has been sorely tested and it is totally functional.
Right.
And I
So,
was sharing it with some of my friends this weekend, showing them how it's set up, because I have it all color coded and, just for me, which is part of what I love about a spreadsheet, that you can set it up so that it looks all pretty and you can do your thing.
mhm.
And come on, go away. And you can just see so many different things at once. Like, there's a quick grab of part of my spreadsheet. And
Oh.
like, I pulled a group out when I got ready to do the 13 stitches of Halloween, and they're
Mhm.
all this color, but anything I started this year is this color. So
Mm,
this is all one chart, but I just made another part of it. So, when I'm going through, it's got tons of stuff.
right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And see, oh man, and this is where a computer is easier to use than a tablet. I have, not for every project I have, because that would be excessive, but for a lot of different projects, like Fun Every Day, where I've counted it out into different chunks. I have a tab on my spreadsheet just for that project. Then all of the data from that flows to a different tab that's like, here's what I worked on today, where I can look on a daily basis. And then I have a plan tab that shows what my goal was for the day and did I actually meet it. And so the data flows to that tab. It's an intense spreadsheet, and it's only going to get worse because I have had this spreadsheet for less than a year, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
But it's fun. And there are times where I am places where I can't work on my cross stitch,
Hmm.
but I need a little bit of a diversion.
Hmm.
So I can open my spreadsheet and look at my whips. Now, I've not put my stash into a spreadsheet or a program or anything else.
Right.
And I may do that and kind of keep track, because I do get out sometimes and think, I wonder if I have that.
Yeah, I haven't done that with mine because I feel like that would be a lot of upkeep. But yeah, I don't know. I like spreadsheets, and yeah, every once in a while, if I'm like taking a break or in the car or something, I'll be like, well, let's just kind of plan what I'm going to do today.
Yeah. Well, we were talking last night when I was in the car, and I was accessing my spreadsheet and looking at what I have for what we were discussing. So,
Right.
so where you count out the blocks of color for a project,
Hmm.
do you keep that after you finish the project, or do you use that same spreadsheet again, like for a new project?
Oh, so well, I had made one whenever I made everything up. I have a template one, so I can just quickly copy that template and make it for a new project. But a lot of the time, I will get rid of the spreadsheet after I'm done with the project, um, just because I'm done with it. I guess I could clear it out, but I don't generally do that. I just kind of start fresh. Um, I do keep the things that I keep is I have like from last year. I guess I started the spreadsheet around this time last year. I have like what I did during the month, like the total of the stitches per month, just so I can go back and look at that. But I usually, once I'm done with the project, I usually get rid of the tab that I was using to do all the planning and stuff for it.
we may have to have a hangout day where you show me all of your spreadsheet stuff, and then I can figure out what else I think I need to have added, because I love a good spreadsheet. And
Mhm.
yeah, and I like to
Well,
play with it, and I think I'm very number driven.
right. Well, and kind of the way I use it, I'll use Fun Every Day as an example, since that's one that I've been stitching on. So I figured out that in order to reach my goal of 1.5 parts a month, I have to stitch around 140 stitches a day, somewhere in there. And so I will count out how much, like for this one, I counted out how much the border was, how much like the school bus was. And probably as I work more on the school bus, I'll count the different like colors or different parts. And then there are some purple diamonds and some green diamonds. So I counted out those, and then I'll be like, okay, I have to do 140 stitches a day. So this is how much of it I need to accomplish today. Like this is, so I don't have to be like, well, I'm not sure how much 140 stitches is on this. Like I knew yesterday I had already stitched the first couple columns of yellow on the school bus. And so I was like, okay, well, I need to get all the way to the middle of the school bus in the yellow, and that'll give me like 150 stitches, and that'll be fine. Just so I have a good stopping point.
One of our friends was asking me this weekend, so, how do you count? Because I think I'm interested in maybe counting and figuring that out. And I said, well, I started counting because of magical stitches, because you
Mhm.
needed to know how many stitches you had done on things for different challenges.
Right.
And I said, but Keisha plans her stitching and pre-counts everything, which if you are worried about trying to keep track of it, could be way easier
Yeah.
than trying to count as you go.
Right.
And they were kind of interested in that. So,
Yeah. And I don't do that for everything. I do always do it for models that I'm stitching, things that have a deadline, because then I'm like, I need to make sure that I get this motif done today, to stay on track with the deadline. And then I have it for some of my bigger projects, or ones that I think are going to be like easier to count out. But like my 25/7 piece, I don't count that one out. I just do 25 stitches a day. I put that in my spreadsheet. So it just kind of depends on what sort of project I'm working on.
I've noticed that some designers have started telling you how many stitches are in a project.
Yeah, and they'll tell you how many stitches are in like a color. It's really interesting. I like that, because that helps you figure out how much you need to buy, so you aren't
Well,
like, well, it looks like I could probably get away with buying one skein.
right. And then too, if they tell you how many stitches are in the total piece, then if you are on a deadline, you could take that total number and divide it up by when you need to be done, like you
Right.
do with your section counting. So
Mhm.
at least then, you have that number and you can figure it
Right.
out.
Yeah. I just like having, like I said, even if like, because I know that Katie gave us a rough estimate of how many stitches were in the last Frogwarts model when we were stitching
Right.
it, but I still counted up how many stitches were in each motif, because even though I had an idea of how many stitches I needed to do a day, it
Mhm.
was good to be like, oh well, the car has, and I don't know, 250 stitches, and my
Yeah.
goal was to do 200 stitches this day, so why don't I just finish the entire car?
And on things like that sampler, once you get what, like you could put in the whole bottom border, and then you have a good baseline to be able to count anywhere in the piece. So you don't necessarily have to do things that are right next to each other. You
Mhm.
can use the repeating border because it's
Right.
diamonds.
Mhm.
You could use the repeating border and move anywhere in the project.
Yeah, that's a
My
good.
mother-in-law used to grid her fabric, and I know you can buy pre-gridded fabric now, but
Mhm.
she loved it because she said when she would be working on more of a full coverage piece, she would get tired of working in this color with this corner. So she would just count squares and move to a different section and do something in an entirely different color.
Oh, nice.
Just to give herself a mental break.
Yeah. See, I like to work, I start top left and I like to work to the right and work down. Usually I will work down almost the entire length of the piece, and then I can kind of go wherever I want to. If it's a smaller piece, if it's a bigger piece, I will stitch whatever fits in my hoop usually, and then I'll move the hoop and see where I go from there. And I'll kind of pick whatever I think is the most interesting looking, if I want to get all the way to the right hand side or if I want to go down. It kind of depends on my mood.
So there was a ramble on a, do you prefer a computer or a tablet?
But it was about cross stitch. It was a cross stitch ramble.
It was.
So ask us about our
spreadsheets. Adjacent, right?
Right. Ask us about our spreadsheets. We'll talk to you about it. And I wish, I don't know how to do like the, because I use my webcam, and I guess I could probably get like a second screen, but maybe one of these days I'll try to figure out how I can show everyone my spreadsheet.
I was trying to think, I think there's somewhere on it that it says share.
Yeah, there's a share screen.
Oh, there is, yeah.
And I've had to do that for work things before, but sometimes it's easier to have a second screen so you can see yourself and then.
But too, with the age of your computer, it may not be as easy.
It could blow up. We probably need to see if we can, as a Christmas present to ourselves, buy ourselves a new computer, because my husband uses this too.
And they should be going on sale. Maybe Black Friday you should watch.
Ooh, maybe so. Or Cyber Monday, so I can stay in my pajamas.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Let's see. Oh, do you like blue or red better?
Whoa.
Oh, that's hard, because if they mix, they're your favorite color.
They are. And look, I'm wearing both today. I think in general, I probably like blue more because it's closer to purple. I like blue purples more than I like red purples.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But you know, I do love the Chiefs, and they're a red team, so you know, but I love the Royals and they're a blue team.
And I like baseball better than I like. Yeah, I'm a blue person. Red is the opposite of green, and green is my favorite color. So no, I really like blue, and it's kind of a funny thing in our house. My husband's favorite color is blue, and he's the one who does the laundry. So he makes sure he washes all the blue laundry. So I wear a lot of blue because it's always clean.
That's funny.
And it's been that way since we dated too, because the apartment he lived in didn't have, well, it had laundry, but it was kind of like they had a laundry room and it wasn't laundry in the unit. And I had my own washer and dryer in my apartment. So he would come over and do his laundry. And as the tax for doing laundry, he would wash my laundry too, which was nice. I mean, we were only like, you know, single people. And so he would always, so I've just always worn a whole lot of blue.
He's like, I like you in this, and I like you in this.
Yes.
That's what I'm washing today.
Right. Let's see. Okay, cups in your cupboard. Do you put them right side up or upside down?
Cups don't go in my cupboard.
Ooh, where do cups go?
We have hooks below the cupboard, and the ones that we use go there.
Nice.
But the ones that are put away, they are, the open is up because we stack them, and generally they fit better. The ones that are like that will fit better with
if
the
they're
opening
upright.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. We are upside down cups.
Are
Except for,
you?
yeah, except for our wine glasses. Those go right side up. So,
And if you
but
mean cups other than coffee cups, then everything is right side up.
mhm. Yeah. No,
And if you
I
make it
think,
stacked.
yeah. So I think, well, in my parents, it's always upside down. They'd always put things upside down. And I think at my in-laws' house, they're all upside down. So I think we just inherited the upside down.
Toilet paper rolls from the top or from the bottom?
Rolls from the top.
Yeah, ours rolls from the top. They say that when you have kids, you should or pets, you should stop rolling it from the top because they can hit it and make it all come off. And if you roll from the bottom, when they hit it, it doesn't come off.
Yeah, but see, then it would be closer to the ground for James to get to, and he would probably think it was hilarious to pull it from there. So
there you go.
I don't think there's any winning with kids or pets. They're going to make a mess no matter how they decide to.
And it never changed at our house. We just always left it coming off the top. So,
and luckily for me, James hasn't figured that out yet. So he has learned about open and close the toilet seat, which is a dangerous game. Like, please don't take anything in there with you. We try to so the door to our bathroom doesn't really latch all the way. So even if you close it, you can push it open if you use enough force, probably because the boy has used enough force to get it open too many times. And so we've been trying to build barricades because so off of our living room, the first door in the hallway is James's room, and then the second one is the bathroom. And then the room I'm in and my bedroom is at the end of the hall. And so we just try to build barricades, but he's really good at figuring out how to get around barricades.
He's like obstacle course, challenge accepted.
Right. I could probably move this box just enough so that only I can fit through there. So I can run into the bathroom, but it's going to take you a good couple of minutes to figure out how to get to me. I told my husband, I was like, I do not have very long legs. And really, any obstacles that we build for James are obstacles for me as well. So, our house is interesting sometimes. Let's see. Oh, are you an iced coffee or a hot coffee?
Yes.
You're a coffee.
Currently, I am more of a hot coffee drinker because it's getting a little cooler. So, I drink whatever season it is. During the summer, I definitely like the iced coffee. And really, okay, so I'll admit it, I'm a Starbucks junkie. But I drink coffee at home. But what I get at Starbucks is a mocha most often. A mocha is equally good, iced or hot.
That's true. That's true. There are some drinks that just aren't great iced.
A caramel macchiato is my other drink, and it's good both ways. But my problem is that the caramel is so heavy that in the iced drink, I don't get any of it. And there's no real way to get it. The cups that they've been doing without a straw. They've been doing the ones with the sippy lid. I can't stir that.
Right.
If I get a straw, I can stir that up.
Well, and mine, it kind of depends on the season and sometimes the time of day. I really like a warm cup of coffee in the morning. And if it's getting like later on at night and I'm having something decaf or even like tea or hot chocolate or something like that. Like I like a warm drink at night, especially this time of year.
It's more soothing, right?
Yeah. Or like with dessert. I I joke that I'm becoming an older person because my grandparents used to always, anytime we'd go someplace, if they at the end of the meal, they'd always get coffee and have coffee with their dessert. But oh man, I love a cup of hot coffee with some dessert. It's one of my favorite things.
Okay,
So,
so my dad drank coffee all the time.
mhm,
And we used to go to this Mexican restaurant, and they knew him well enough that they would bring him some jalapenos and he would eat those. Like he would just
mhm,
eat those.
yeah.
And then he's drinking hot coffee with it. That would kill me.
Ah, that sounds like what my dream would have been about a year and a half ago when I was pregnant. That would have been lovely. Yeah, no, we would go, and I guess this is a national chain, Golden Corral, the buffet place. We would go all the time with my grandparents, because that's an easy place to take a child to because you can get whatever you want to eat there. And my
Yeah.
grandparents didn't have to be like, well, I don't know what you want to eat. So we would go there, and then we'd always sit and they'd ask for a cup of coffee with their at the end of the meal so they could have that with their dessert. And then we'd have to wait for them to finish drinking their cup of coffee, and they'd do it slow and eat their dessert, and we just wanted to go. But now I'm like, they had that right. But my grandparents were definitely, my grandma still does, but they're definitely coffee all the time. There was always coffee in the coffee pot, and they would just drink it all the time.
Yeah, my dad drank coffee all the time. My mom would drink iced tea.
Mm,
She drank some coffee, but it wasn't it wasn't really her thing. She would rather have iced tea.
oh,
I have made a big stinking mess with my floss here
oh no.
because sometimes, oh yeah, it's just gonna shred.
I
That's
hate
okay.
that when that happens. Every once in a while, I'll get, because I will use my needles until they are ready to not be used anymore. Really, it's every once in a while I have a needle that starts to shred my floss at the top.
Well, this is more like I got it through the wrong hole, which I do every once in a while on the
Mhm.
perforated paper I'm finding.
Oh
And
yeah.
as I tried to get it back out, it managed to go through one of the strands, like it split the
Oh
strand.
yes. Oh, that's the worst.
And then I just couldn't get it to come out. So I just cut it off, and I'm going to use my threader and tuck that tail. I need a tail tucker.
See, I'm curious about those. I've never had one of those.
Well, I think you can get a lot closer than I can get um, the way that I do it. However, I'm pretty successful. So I got that in there. Looks fine.
Okay. I have a pretty variegated skein of cool azul, and I'm trying to make sure that I match up my ends so I don't it doesn't look weird.
Yeah. Well, now mine has, I don't know if you'll be able to see this.
Oh no.
That's what it did. So this piece may go, oh, now the cat's going to cry because she's inside and she thinks she should go outside. But this may have to go in timeout until I can figure out how to safely get it apart.
Yeah. Oh man, isn't that the worst? I will get like the little knots, that you get pretty often if you're trying to stitch fast and you're not paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
But those are usually pretty easy to get out. But yeah, whenever I get a knot, I really get a knot. And
Yeah.
it's like, well, I'm just gonna have to cut this out.
There was no saving that. I ended up just snipping it and where I knew it would come off. And then I was able to just tuck the ends in on the back. So it was okay.
Yeah.
But what a mess. And it's a brand new length. So I really don't want to waste that.
Right, right.
Oh
But
my
yeah,
goodness.
to finish up that question, I do like to drink iced coffee in the middle of the day though. If I'm like, you know, if I'm thirsty and have coffee also, I would like it to be iced so that I can drink it a little easier.
We were really disappointed because we were unable to find decaf espresso pods this year.
Oh no.
And we like for the Keurig, and
Uh-huh.
we like to use espresso pods to make iced coffee
Right.
during the summer. And yeah, that was not a thing.
Oh no.
I mean, you can brew your coffee on strong, but it's just different than the flavor you get with espresso.
Right. Right, for sure.
Okay, this is where I was. I think I have it all figured out again.
Okay, that's good news. So, well, I guess this is kind of a this or that question, kind of branching off of that. If you're drinking coffee at home, are you a cream and sugar person or do you just drink it straight?
I drink my coffee with milk and sugar in the raw.
Oh, nice.
I don't use very much
Mhm.
sugar in it. I don't need it. For one thing, I'm diabetic, but I can't just do black coffee.
Mm. See, it depends on how good the coffee is. Like if it's a good coffee and I went to a coffee house and I got something that was special, I will drink it black. And I don't mind, like if I go someplace and they have coffee and I don't want to mess with cream or sugar, I will drink it black. But if it's not especially good coffee, then I will add cream and sugar to it. And I'll get like some of the International Delight Coffee Mate creamers. I have some of that at work. And my favorite one, just for, you know, just the plain kind of thing, is International Delight has this Cold Stone Creamery sweet cream one. And it's just like
Ooh.
vanilla ice cream, basically. It tastes like vanilla ice cream. But that's my favorite, just like plain Jane sort of coffee creamer that you can buy at the grocery store.
Okay, now do you like flavored coffee?
It depends on the flavor. I don't mind it. Uh, but I sometimes it's a little bit weird. I think I like it better in a Keurig than I do like making a whole pot of flavored coffee.
I do not like flavored coffee. I do not like flavored tea. That
Mhm.
is not a me thing.
Yeah.
Other than, okay, so I told you I like a mocha. Well, I like to put a chocolate coffee creamer in, but coffee creamers tend to have kind of a funky taste to me.
They do. It's different than like a chocolate sauce, putting a chocolate sauce and cream in your
Right.
coffee. So it definitely tastes artificial. It's like Tootsie Roll tasting,
Yeah. But,
really.
I have found that a packet of hot cocoa works really well.
Yeah, we would do that when I was in college. That was our cheap mocha, was brewing a pot of coffee and then putting a packet of hot chocolate mix in it.
But
So
I'm not I'll drink peppermint tea, but I
mhm.
really don't like flavored tea.
See, I don't mind flavored tea, but if I have something that's flavored, I have to have a lot of sugar in it. I don't like if I just got like a raspberry tea or something like that, I wouldn't be able to. I could drink it straight, but it's not my favorite. I would put a lot of sugar in it. But just a black tea or an Earl Grey or something like that. But or and if it's a mint tea, I have to put a lot of sugar in that too. I don't know. It's a strange thing.
I love to make we had gotten some loose leaf mint tea one year,
Mhm.
and we would make sun tea with regular tea, and then we would fill the tea ball with the mint and drop that in it,
Oh,
so
nice.
that, it was a mix of the
Uh-huh.
teas, and it just made it the coolest, freshest tea ever.
Yeah, that sounds refreshing.
I
See,
do like
now,
cinnamon. I do like cinnamon in both my coffee and my tea.
yeah, I love cinnamon. Yeah, that's usually my Starbucks order. If you're if you're ever buying me Starbucks, and the Landis ladies do often, it's a cinnamon dolce latte from Starbucks. I do like that hot more than I like it iced. And I will tell you, as a person who had to have a diabetic diet for almost a year, the sugar-free cinnamon dolce is not great.
Yeah.
And there was hardly any place, and they got Starbucks got rid of their sugar-free mocha too while I was pregnant. That was very upsetting.
So I have found for myself that it is much better for me to just plan something regular into my day. I do not like sugar-free things.
Yeah.
I just don't. Other than
Right.
sugar-free Jello is fabulous,
Mm,
but especially when you can use a little bit of whipped cream on that,
yeah.
and that's really a great treat. But I don't I don't like sugar-free things. I don't like the low calorie dressings, where they do the light versions. I would rather just use less.
Right. Right. Well, see, my thing was that the sugar-free mocha at Starbucks used to be really good, and then they got rid of it for whatever
Ugh,
reason. And the sugar-free vanilla is not bad, but I was told by my doctor, it was like, hey, under no circumstances should you
yeah.
have anything that's sweetened in a drink. I'd put a little bit of honey, like a little bit of honey in tea every once in a while, but yeah, I was just told to stay away from it. So I was trying to be good, and I was already
Yep.
already decided to do half calf on my coffee, because I did have some caffeine when I was pregnant, but I made sure that I limited it to what they recommended. And um so I was like, well, I'm already indulging by having a little caffeine, so I should probably try to do my best to not go overboard. So
I have really found that if we buy ice cream,
mhm.
and I have my own pint so that I'm the only one eating from it, I'm perfectly happy to have like 3 or 4 not scoops,
Yeah,
spoonfuls off the
spoonful.
top, and then I go put it away. Like a little pint of ice cream could well last me a month.
Right.
Now I can also sit down and eat the entire thing in 10 minutes, but
Depends on the kind of day, right?
it does.
So, okay, I think I'm going to ask one more. Um, one
This
more.
always terrifies me because it means you're choosing a doozy.
No, no. This one's going to be good. This one's
Okay.
going to be good, and you're probably going to have opinions about that, and they'll be good talking about. Do you prefer a card game or a board game?
Ooh, I like both.
I know you do.
Um, so Bree does not like the card game that we like to play. We like to play hand and foot.
Oh, man, I got to play hand and foot with you sometime. It's been a long
Oh,
time.
awesome. So we do not get to play that really. And hand and foot is one of those games that it is house rules. And
Oh,
my
for sure.
friend who taught me the game said, hey, you have to develop house rules. These are the
Mhm.
basic rules, and then there are house rules.
Right.
Um, but we kind of have a set series of these. Okay, card game, we play Uno,
Hmm.
except we play Uno Attack. So we have the thing that you
Oh,
put the cards in and you push the button,
right.
and it determines how many cards you're getting.
Hmm.
Um, and then we play, um, I think a lot of people call it Farkle.
Oh, yeah.
We call it, what do we call it? I can't even think. We haven't played in a while, but we call it whatever whatever my aunt called it.
Mhm.
So, and then we have a big marble board that my dad made for us, and we play marbles, and we play that as partners.
Oh, interesting.
It's the one it's kind of cross shaped.
Mhm.
So you have your little corners where you have to get them out of, and then you go all the way around the board
Mhm.
to get back home up the
Oh, so
center of your little,
like aggravation?
kind of, but it's a homemade board, so it's one that my dad made, and eventually I we need to pull it out, and I don't even think we need to sand it because it has all of, the dad stuff in it. We might have to lightly sand, and then we just need to seal it so it has all of those little quirks and things. Like,
Right.
he drilled all those holes all the way
Mhm.
around.
Oh, cool.
So sometimes there's a chunk out between two, and
Right.
they're not all evenly spaced. Some are closer together than others. So it has all of those fabulous quirks and things. And I feel like we need to really get in and seal it so that it's preserved.
Yeah, definitely. That's family heirloom stuff right there.
You bet.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, so my dad's mom and my dad's family very much card people or dominoes. We play
Uh-huh.
chicken foot dominoes. Um, but that was like what the adults did. And so whenever you got old enough to start playing those games, you got to play hand and foot and like have a partner and stuff. That was like big time. That meant you were an adult now and you could play. Um, but so I really like card games. But I have married into a board game family, and and we go over to friends' houses and play board games a lot. We play Settlers of Catan all the time. That's one of the favorites of the friend group, and it's just we've played it so much that it's not one that we have to think about a lot. But I really like playing. I really like just trying new games out. There are a couple places here in Kansas City that are board game bars or cafes where you can go and pay to get in, and then they have just all kinds of board games that you can check out and play different things. So I like doing that. So yeah, I guess I'm slowly but surely becoming a board game person. I don't know that I don't even know how you classify it. I guess it's more of a board game than a card game. But I really, really like the game Bananagrams. Have you ever played that one?
Uh,
So basically you get a bunch of letter tiles like Scrabble tiles, but you build your own Scrabble board, essentially. Like you're playing with yourself. You have all of these letters and you have to fit it into a grid, kind of like you were playing Scrabble. And so you do all that, and then um, you shout peel and once you get your board set, and then everyone has to draw another letter, and you just keep doing that, and the first one to get their board completed whenever all of the tiles have been drawn wins. And based on what tile you get, you have to rearrange your board because maybe now you don't, the words you had before don't fit with the letter that you just drew. So it's kind of chaotic. And I'm pretty good at that game because that's the way my brain works. I'm really good. I'm good at like Boggle and Scrabble and those kinds of things. So I
mhm.
really like this game. But I haven't played it for years because usually I play it with my in-laws, and my father-in-law is not a good loser.
Oh no.
Uh, well, he's fine. He just doesn't like to lose. And if you beat him too many times at a game, you just don't play that game anymore.
I don't mind. Okay. I get frustrated when I lose because um like Scrabble. Okay. I get frustrated when I lose because the people that I play with don't have enough of a vocabulary to play a word. And so they tie up every letter with a 2-letter word or a
Yeah,
3-letter word.
that's not fun.
I get very frustrated with games. We used to play, so when I was pregnant with Katie, Jeff and I were living in a place with no laundry. We were living in an apartment. And on Fridays, we would go over to my mom and dad's, and Jeff would run up and down the stairs doing laundry, and mom would fix dinner for us. And then we would sit and play cards afterwards. And they taught us to play pinochle.
Mm,
And I don't think I could play pinochle for anything now because they've been gone long enough that we just haven't played, you know.
right.
Nobody else played pinochle, just my parents. But um, Jeff always seemed to have an ace, which was a high card in
Mhm,
pinochle. And so much so, and it was always he and my dad against my mom and I,
mhm,
but so much so that I started calling Jeff Ace in the hole,
mhm.
because in the hole in his hand, Ace
Right.
in the hole. And so his nickname forever has been Ace.
Mhm.
So that's, you know, that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But also I know how to count very well because my mother played Yahtzee with me. And as
Ah,
soon as the
yes.
dice hit the table on your last roll, she was scooping them all up. So you
Oh,
had to have a really good memory for what was on the table and look at your board and figure out your card and figure out what you could do with all that.
right. Oh, yeah. No, we played Yahtzee a lot because that's an easy one to play with kids. So
Yes.
we play Yahtzee a lot. And when my
It's a
grandpa,
great math game.
Mhm. And when my grandpa was around, we we used to play blackjack all the time. Like my grandma would be the
Okay.
dealer, we'd have chips, and we'd just sit and play blackjack. And my grandpa loved doing that, like to the point where he was in the hospital one time, and we brought my husband usually just has a deck of cards like in the car just in case we're ever someplace and
Mm-hmm.
need to pass some time. And so we brought up the cards. He's like, well, I don't have anything to bet with. And he had gotten lunch from the cafeteria, and my grandpa put way too much pepper on everything. And so they had been told to bring him extra pepper packets. So he had a ton of pepper packets. We could bet those. Um, that was also, he told me he'd never played Go Fish before. So he played Go Fish and he beat me so badly. He was he was so lucky. It's like, well, and that's the only time he ever played it. He's like, I'm never gonna play it again because I beat you at it and I'm gonna be undefeated.
Did you ever play Rummy Cube?
Yes, I played that before.
So you probably like that one because that's one that you can split apart groups, existing groups, and make new groups.
Mm-hmm.
And that was always, I mean, just the going through and figuring out, oh, I can split this in the middle and do this. And yeah.
Yeah. So I love board games. So if I ever meet any of you at a retreat and you have board games, please invite me. I'll come play with you.
Now, do you like puzzles?
I love puzzles. I love jigsaw puzzles. There was a man, so my grandma used to work in a nursing home before she retired. And there was a man who had just a whole bunch of puzzles, and he'd always be doing one whenever I'd go there because she'd bring me to visit. And this is like when I'm 5 or 6. And so I would sit and do puzzles with him every once in a while. And one day he just like gave my grandma a ton of puzzles to give to me. And
Oh,
so I had a bunch of just 500-piece jigsaw puzzles. And in my room growing up, I had a spot in my floor that didn't have carpet. And so I would like sit and listen to music and or eventually I got like a TV and could watch a movie right there, and I would just sit and listen to music or watch a movie and put together puzzles. I still love puzzles.
so my mom enjoyed doing puzzles, but we only had a dining room table.
Mhm.
Excuse me, meaning that we didn't have an eat-in kitchen. So we couldn't really leave a puzzle set up.
Right.
Sometimes she would pull out the marble board that my dad had made for them, and we would do the puzzle on there,
Oh,
because
fun.
then you could pick up the whole board and set it someplace else. So if we were doing bigger puzzles, she would do that.
Yeah. Oh,
But then Jeff's brother, when he and his wife were living away from us, we would go up there for Thanksgiving. And after Thanksgiving dinner at the table, they would pull out a puzzle, and the dining room table would then be taken over by puzzle.
oh,
But it
fun.
was so big, and there were only the four of us, that we could, we would put the leaf in. And
Right.
so we just wouldn't sit at that end of the table.
Ah, yeah.
We had to get it done before we came home.
Yeah. My mother-in-law, my in-laws, I guess my mother-in-law always had a puzzle going around the holidays. So we've done that a few times. But um when I lived with my grandparents for a couple of years, when I went to community college, my bedroom, well, they had two bedrooms or three bedrooms upstairs. One was a storage room, one was my bedroom, and then the other was the spare bedroom. And it was really only big enough to have a full-size bed and a TV. Like
Mhm.
there was a dresser with a TV on it. So I would sit in there a lot of the time, and I had a card table that just had the legs folded up, and I would put it on my lap and I would do the puzzle on the card table while I watched TV. So I love puzzles.
That's something I really enjoy. And the rest of my family is not really that interested in it. So it's not something that I have done in forever.
Right.
I think we finally gave up and got rid of all of the big puzzles.
Oh, I just got a new puzzle not too long ago from one of my friends that I need to put together. But I have to figure out where I could do a puzzle and not have to worry about little hands getting into it.
Oh, yeah. Now, okay, so something that might be good is that you could invest in a puzzle mat,
Hmm.
which they have at the craft stores, and you can almost always use a coupon
Yeah.
and get a discount on it, but they're great. I had kids at school that I worked with that I could have like some extra social time, because that's part of the ELL thing.
Hmm.
I would have like 15 minutes or 20 minutes in between things, and I would grab the kids and we would go and work on a puzzle together.
Oh, nice.
And so I just had it on my puzzle mat. The funny thing is, if any of my other kids saw me in the space where we were working on a puzzle, they would come in
Hmm.
and be like, "Can I just stay with you for a while? I want to work on the puzzle." And, every once in a while I would make them go, I'd say, "Well, go ask your teacher." And then they would come in and they would work on the puzzles with us. They loved it. And I don't think kids really do a lot of puzzles anymore. So it was, and culturally, that's not a thing that I feel like the kids that I work with have been exposed to a lot. So
Mm,
they're a little fascinated by it.
right. Oh, man, I hope I can get James to be a puzzle boy. That would be great for me.
It's so fun. I love to do that.
Hmm.
Okay, how are you doing? Are you at a good spot?
Two more stitches and I'll be in a great spot.
Okay.
I finished my window, so I just started working with yellow again.
And you can hear the cat talking now. She has decided she does not want to be in the house. This is not okay with her. How dare we keep her in here?
So fickle, so fickle.
Yes, so she'll have to go out here in a minute. But I can go ahead and show you. Let me finish
Yeah.
this one. Um, I did really well. I'm going to have to count it up here in a while. I'm thinking I probably got in close to a couple hundred stitches.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm not sure how many
I
I.
mean, you saw it was all fill.
Mhm. Oh, wow.
So I got all of Thursday filled in. And I've
Nice.
started up. Now I will make squares. I will go between the green. I'm using this green one down here, but I
Mhm.
will go around, and I am going around and around to do those.
Uh-huh. Nice.
I don't know if it makes any difference or not with this, but you don't get light and dark patches that way.
Right.
So
Yeah, I on mine that I did like that, there were some squares where you could tell that there was a color change and some you couldn't. But so here's where I am on mine. I did a couple columns of the yellow and I filled in the window. So my window, I went round and round and
Oh,
round. And so you can definitely tell that I did that there.
that's
So
fun though. That's going to be like the crazy buzz.
you're not going to want to get on this one. So, but anyway, that's where I got to. So I'm pretty
Awesome.
happy with it. I'll have to try to go the other way on my next window if I remember it, but I probably won't.
Okay, so do you think you hit your stitches for the day on that?
I'm not sure. Probably pretty close. Because I think when I just like kind of estimated last night that I'd have about a little over 100 stitches in this. So, but yeah, so I'm probably pretty close. I could probably go work on something else.
So I would need to put in close to 1,000 stitches a week with your plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty intense. It's pretty
Okay.
intense.
I was just trying to think because I don't always pull mine out and work on it every evening, but
Yeah,
that kind of gives me this should be my goal for the week.
yeah.
Which I
So
have to stitch like a mad woman to catch up to you anyway and be on track.
right. So it's 4,218 stitches a month to do what we're doing. And if you divide that by 4 weeks, you get 1,054 and a half. So,
Okay.
which ends up being, well, I was a little ahead of the game, but it's like 150 stitches a day. Or, well, I guess not. That's for 28 days. So,
Okay.
but
I
you'll
took
catch
7
up.
days and multiplied your 140. So
Yeah, you'll catch up because you're a much faster stitcher than I am.
I don't know that I am on the perforated paper though.
Oh, well, I have the experience. We'll both be very experienced at perforated paper by the end of
Yes. And there were people working on cool perforated paper projects over the weekend that I got to see. So
that's cool. I love perforated paper, but you know that I'll stitch on anything. Right. Well, I think that does it for us this week. Next week, we'll be here with our regular floss tube video, so you can see all of the things we've been working on and see hopefully something with the number 3 from Miss
and it
Land.
may even be 4 by the time we get there, or 5, because whoo.
I might have 1.
Well, let's just say that the 13 stitches of Halloween I completed because I stitched on 13 different things in the first 13 days. And now I've been able to go back and focus on some things, and it's producing some great results. And when getting ready for retreat, I was like, I haven't stitched on that and I really want to. And so I've had some fun with that too.
Well, as discussed last week, I'm waiting on the outcome of the World Series to see how I can finish my 25/7, but I'll have everything done with that before, except for the helmet. So we'll see what happens with the game. So my team made it to the World Series. So
woohoo.
I'm not going to stitch it ahead of time. We're not going to jinx it. We're not going to baseball jinx it. So all right. Well, I guess that just thank you for coming.
Yes.
Thank you for staying. Hopefully this was fun. If you have any questions for us for the next Stitch with Us, just leave them in the comments and we'll get to them. So,
and if you have comments that you want to make about the questions we had today and add your bits in too, I've loved reading those and I've been commenting back, and it's fun to see. Someone last time said, I played along.
Yes,
so
I
here
saw
are
that.
all my answers.
Yes, super fun. All right.
The ones that are harder when it's yes or no. And I'm like, I don't remember what the question was.
That's true. All right. Well, we'll see you next week.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Have a good week.